Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today we are on Alliance War number 2 of Season 26. And once again, we only have 4 fights this war. There's really not anything special going on. But we are going to be starting off today on Path 1 with a Tigra. So if you guys have watched any of my previous war videos, you would know that I've taken this exact fight multiple times over. It's really not a problem. I use Archangel with it just because I occasionally have problems with Tiger's 7-hit combo when attempting to quake it, but technically she is quakeable if you do want to attempt it. But for safety, I just use Archangel, and this node has Vigorous Assault and Arc Overload on it, so whenever Tigra here would have a regen buff, she's going to be unblockable. And since there's Arc Overload for 6 seconds, or a regen buff for 6 seconds, she is going to be unblockable to start the fight in every 20 seconds. But Archangel just shreds this node because you just kind of dodge for the first 6 seconds, and then you just build up your neurotoxins, and then usually by the time that it would re-trigger, the defender's already dead, or you have so many neurotoxins up that Arc Overload just doesn't function anymore. So in this case, she's just dead, so yeah, that fight was not a problem at all. Okay, moving on, I did not have the availability to have my ringer on here, so there's going to be no audio for that for this section. Apologies about that. But we have a Wasp with Masochism here, and this Wasp is running Suicides, I believe. Yep, there we go. So double edge, and it got immediately purified, but it's not really going to be a problem. It's actually more helpful than anything, just because she's going to easily kill herself off of recoil damage. Also, Magneto just kind of shuts off Masochism for the most part, so I think I do slip up because I kind of just assumed, yeah, like right there, I assumed that my parry would just not fail, but it did, which is fine. So, yeah, and fight's pretty much over. I got a little bit unlucky, that didn't crit there, but anyway, that was a really easy fight, really no problem at all. So I turn up my volume that's not even on, so that's kind of funny. But now moving on to section 2, we're going to be once again on path 1, and we have a Guardian. So this Guardian is going to have Vigor and Indomitable, which means that his healing cannot be reversed. And also Vigor, so every increment of 25% resets a timer, and if the timer goes off, he's going to heal a pretty substantial amount. But since Guardian is metal, Magneto pretty easily shuts off this entire node, so it's really not going to be a problem at all. So even if he does trigger the regen, he's actually going to be reversing it, but I'm not going to be paying attention to that. And also, I get some nice free healing from the shock on Guardian, that is. So we're just going to kind of build up my prowess and just kind of continue for the fight. This fight really isn't a problem at all. I've taken much worse fights in this node, but really, as long as anyone in this path is metal, Magneto just kind of shreds it. There's a few exceptions sometimes, like trying to think. So on the Buffet Lionheart node, which is the next node actually, occasionally there are problems since he does trigger so many buffs. But anyway, moving on, now we have Magneto, which I'm going to be quaking. So this fight shouldn't have been a problem. As you guys are going to see, I kind of sucked. This is going to sound really weird, but I had like grease on my finger or something, which sounds like it wouldn't be a problem at all. But when you're quaking and you're like tapping the phone and like holding like the right side and like dashing back on the left side and all that, a few times my heavy dropped because of it, because I guess it wasn't registering my finger being there anymore. So right there, that was actually an intentional drop because I had to get my dexterity buff because of the buffet node in this, which I did not get. So now that I have it, I should be fine. Like, this fight would be completely over. I just have to do standard Quake and Shake playstyle until he died. But like I said, because I had that grease in my finger, I do drop my heavy a few times, which is really weird. So I had to play purposefully badly, I'm gonna say, in order to recover this fight, which sounds like stupid. So there, my heavy dropped. I dropped it again because I wanted to regain my dexterity buff, hopefully while this concussion was still up. Luckily, I got it while the concussion's up, which the concussion reduces the ability accuracy, so I could get my buff while Buffet could not activate, if that makes sense. So I'm just kind of trying to recover this fight, and I'm realizing that if I drop my heavy again, he's going to be at an SP1, which means that I cannot quake because quake cannot evade special attacks. So I'm just continuing on, and I drop my heavy again, and I realize here that I should not have held heavy there because he could have punished. So I'm just kind of sitting here like thinking, what do I want to do? And I decide that I need to just kind of play as if she was a normal champion. So I'm just kind of charging up heavies, and then I do not want to trigger Buffet. So here I'm just going to kind of push him up to an SP2, and I was hoping that the concussion was triggered there so I could then dex this SP2, but it didn't work out, so I just blocked it, which in the end was the right call. And here I go for the SP2, and I still won the fight. So really weird and just terrible. I wouldn't say I was ever in a position where I would have lost that fight, but it was just a weird fight. Okay, so we did win this war, which really wasn't a problem. I had 4 attacker kills, which isn't anything substantial. No deaths, which is great. Want to keep up a deathless season, hopefully. And I had 0 defender kills, which is pretty normal. My defense roster isn't anything special, I would say, so it's sort of uncommon to get more than 1 kill. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Catch you in the next video.